process. I think you're absolutely right to drive it into the public domain as a matter of course, but you know as much as I do that it's got nothing to do with the government. The government have already made their position clear. It's got to do with the Premier League and the 20 clubs, of which Newcastle were one of, to change the rules.
Sorry, Simon, you're saying it's not got nothing to do with it's... What are you saying? That it's not...
What I'm saying is, as you know, the government have already responded through the DCMS saying it's nothing to do with them about the internal processes of the Premier League. It's for the Premier League to resolve that. And the 20 clubs in the Premier League, of which Newcastle are one, are well gifted to change that rule to bring arbitration and matters like this into the public domain, and transparency is a matter of course. It's for the Premier League and the 20 clubs, of which Newcastle have had 28 years to vote for a change around transparency of arbitration rules.
So what's your point to Amanda?
So what my point is you're barking at the moon.
Simon, I think actually you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. Sport has changed. You said you've got 20 years and you're barking at the moon. Well, actually, football's changed dramatically in the last 2 years.
And I agree with you.
Because of COVID. Okay, I know you're not pro our deal, and I'm not going to get into a splitting fight over on Talk Sport. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's fine, and you have your opinions, and that's fine.
Okay.
But you've never met me, you don't know who I am, you've never looked at our business plan, and you've never considered, and you aren't aware of the facts over the last 3 years.
Amanda, you just said you didn't want to have a battle, so let's not get into that, because now you're getting into it.
Give me chance to answer your question.
On you go, Amanda. On you go.
I would, just give me a chance. The Premier League have the right, you're right, to vote this. And that's what we might do. That's what we've asked to do. But there is a board. The Premier League is run by a board, and those boards are allowed to make decisions about how these processes run. Now, arbitration was a particular point on a particular point of law. It is not something that you can say is typical of the process that has been going on to do with sports arbitration over the last year. I'm on Talk Sport. Sorry, my husband's just said I'm going to be late. So if the Premier League can make that decision, you're right. The government have asked for, the government have said this process should be transparent. They're supportive of it. Why don't you think, Simon, it should be?
No, I do. But you've not listened.
Tell me why.
Amanda, you haven't listened. Because I absolutely agree with you that the process should be transparent. We're in a different world now, and the idea that these sort of things should be held behind closed doors is a very dated concept. But it is the gift of the 20 clubs in the Premier League, of which 14 can make a quorum to say to the Premier League board, who work for the 20 clubs, we want to put this to a vote and we want to change the rules to make transparency part of the modern day reporting process. So we're in the same space, Amanda, but we're doing it from a different perspective. What you're doing is rabble-rousing and getting a gullible fan base to believe that the dynamics of what you're trying to achieve is going to give an outcome, when really and truly the government have been very clear. Back to the Premier League, you go and resolve this.
Then we've asked the Premier League to resolve it, and they can have a vote on this, and
Indeed.
They can have a vote on providing transparency. But I think you will find that the Premier League have instances, especially around arbitration, because the Premier League didn't elect, they offered this arbitration process. They didn't say to all the other clubs, we want to have this process, is this okay? They had to have the ability to go out and do this.
It's a fundamental right of any club, isn't it, Amanda?
All we're saying is we want this to arbitration. We don't, and saying that the fan base is gullible is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, those fans coming down, Amanda, give them a final couple of sentences. The fans travelling to London, what do you want to say to them? Just a final couple of sentences.
We are looking forward to welcoming you into St James's Park, and we're looking forward to trying to get this transaction over the wall, and it will do.
Are the Saudis still there, by the way, Amanda? Because they walked away.
We've made our position clear, Jim, and thank you very much. And I wanted to take the opportunity to thank the fans and not have a chat with you.
So are the Saudis still there, Amanda? Are the Saudis still wanting to do a deal?
We are all there, Mr. Jordan. We are all passionate about Newcastle. All the consortium members are. I've made that very clear in my last 2 interviews, last week and the week before. And I've made it clear to Sky, and I've made it clear to Tyne Tees. So thank you very much, Jim. thanks to the fans. I really am with, thanks, Jim.
Amanda,
Okay.
thanks for your time. I appreciate it.